Good day and welcome to a delayed version of the boombar. We sincerely apologize for coming in at an hour late, but you know how it is. There were technical issues that we were battling with, and looks like we came out tops. So this is the boombar on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Shola Rogers.
Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boombar right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is dolupo. Okay. What's up? What has been going on actually? It's very interesting. The kind of things that has been happening in Nigeria. Everybody has something to say. It is political season, and it is time for us to weigh in some things. There's some things that we tend to overlook, but looks like it's right in our faces now. As some political parties in Nigeria are protesting with what looks like so a snub from the media, the society, from virtually everybody, and it's something different aspects of it that we definitely will talk about. Also, the police are in the news. Of course, we know the police.
The police are always
they're always in the news. Yeah. Again, the Inspector General of Police it has something to say about citizens and policemen. Also, we're going to be looking at some instances of what he's actually talking about. ASU has a few things to say about the continuing of strike. I know that the federal government who had a counterclaim back and forth. We talked about it extensively yesterday. Maybe we'll just see how much of it that we would be able to get to today.
Please forgive me. I'm laughing because our glitches apparently are not over. God knows where
this came from. Yeah,
this headline is.
I don't know. I saw it and I just say, you know what? You're not going to stress me this afternoon.
Right,
nope.
So please forgive us. Whatever you're saying as our headline as we stream on TV now.
Anyway,
it's not what it is, but of course we'll be editing it later. Just like Dolupo said, we're talking about Nigerian politics and Nigerian parties and the marginalization that is seemingly going on, and it's so brazen and it's all over the place. Okay, so we'll look at that, and of course we're looking at the Nigerian police, just like Dolupo also talked about, and how, of course, we can make it work.
Okay. Also, we're going to be talking about the courts. Are also in the news. Appeal court has today nullified some very controversial case. Yeah, that happened a few weeks ago that got everybody talking. Another court seems to keep rejecting some people's bail. I don't know why at this point. Looks like the courts have it in for some people. Also, still talking about the news. Our culture, I don't know if it is that our culture is being I won't say tampered with. Yeah. But because the funny thing is that things like masquerades is part of our culture, but right now the police seem to have banned it in a particular state.
Well, these are interesting times.
Wait.
In Yoruba setting, the masquerades are like demigods or spiritual beings. And I know that also is obtainable in other parts of Africa and Nigeria. So how they ban spirits now?
You are banned.
Can you catch spirits?
Okay.
Can you arrest the spirit?
Okay, I'm telling you now.
I beg you.
You can carry it now. It's not a bad idea
police,
to start.
We have to talk.
It's not a bad idea to start.
Did I tell you I wanted to? Please, It's a small joke like this, you're calling police.
I was only saying that you
Abeg
can begin. You can begin. It's not. You can try it out.
my aunt, she's not there.
Okay. Also, there's news as today is International Day of the Disappeared. Very sad. And according to the Red Cross, there are about 25,000 people missing in Nigeria alone. There are a lot of stories on that. I was going to link this story. You know what? Let's just even talk about that right now. I was going to link it to a story. I don't know if you saw a story. I can't remember what country it was. A few weeks ago, where at an auction there was a suitcase that was sold only for the what's the word now? Only for the bones of two children to be found in them. Did you catch that story?
No.
Oh, there were actually like two children's bones that were found in them. Of course, at that point, these children were missing. They've been missing for a while.
And this happened in the UK?
No, I can't remember exactly where, but I know that they finally traced, I think it was they traced the DNA of these children to New Zealand.
Wow.
Or something like that. Do you understand? Like, it was a very sad thing. It was like it was all over the news about last week. So I'm like, imagine. So what I'm saying is that people are missing, and some genuinely just want to go off the radar.
All right, so
some people are.
This is what we're doing now.
Yeah, some people are dead. Some people are, are in all sorts of places. Some people have been kidnapped. Some, all sorts of things.
Yeah, so it is the International Day of the Disappeared. It reminds me of a song that the great late Michael Jackson put out. It's called for the
Lost Children. Yeah.
And the song goes like, we sing a song for those who are kissing, those who are doing this, and those who are doing that. You get, like, we as adults, everybody likes to kiss and do all these things, but nobody's singing about the lost children. So it's actually one of my favorite Michael Jackson songs. Because it's talking about something that people
never talk about. It's almost like
the lost children.
I think that at times people try to internalize it, and so we don't want to be sad, so we don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's a form of denial. Like,
yes, denial is the word.
It's not a smoke screen, because you might say, oh no, it's actually not. It's more of a defense mechanism for some people that they don't want to go there. They don't even want to think about it. But in real terms, let us talk about it. So the International Day for the Disappeared is an important date, and check it out now. If you're listening to us live, or if you're watching us live, you'll find that nobody in the media is really talking about it.
Yeah.
It's not glamorous. It's not viral. It's not controversial enough for them to delve into. It's not going to give them the eyeballs. But here at Boom Radio, we try to cater to everybody. We try, because you can't, but you can only try. So this one is for the lost children. The rhythm and the flow of that song is also sad. This one's for the lost children. Yeah, but it also shows that this is how sad the case is, and
the things that we actually need to talk about it.
You went in depth in a very short way, and that was what I was waiting to do, and you already done it. But I just want to chip in my own bit too. So, who are the disappeared? They are people who, on their own, have decided to fall off the radar.
Yeah,
there are people like that.
Yeah.
Who are like, you know what?
Oh yeah.
I don't need to be in this place.
Some people don't want to. I don't know if you saw
even grown people.
A particular tribe. It was in the news yesterday about a particular man who was the last of his tribe that died in Brazil. You didn't see that story. He has been the last person in about 25 years. He has refused to talk to anybody else. It was said that some rebels or something, I think, killed the clan. He has refused to talk to people. But I'm guessing that because of who he is, maybe there was a lot of
awareness,
surveillance around him. But he doesn't talk to nobody. He doesn't mix with people. He's just lives on his own. He has been there for over 25 years, and it was talked about yesterday that he finally died.
Sad.
So he literally died. He's the last of his tribe with his language. And it's interesting because they're like that. Nobody else knows the tribe. Nobody knows the language he speaks. Do you understand? Like, he's just there on his own. So that exactly, his language, his culture, everything just died with the man. And so yeah, some people just don't want to deal with it.
And there goes they disappeared, and that's en masse, right?
Yeah,
and it falls into that category.
It
definitely.
does.
And okay, so again, we're talking about people who voluntarily disappeared. You know, there are men and women who have been prosecuted and who would remove themselves from certain situations forever. You know, you watch the movies at times and you see, especially American movies, and they go into witness protection. And when they do that, they need to change their names, change this, change that, change everything, you know. So when you do that, you say, okay, what's going on exactly? However, that is a state-sponsored disappearing system, because people are relocated to new cities, new places, they take on new identities, they have a new name, and all of that, and all of that, and all of that, and they disappeared too.
They are. There are also people that actually like disappeared because something bad happens to them.
Yeah.
Some people are disappeared, not they're killed. Some people have been kidnapped.
Yeah.
And they have been moved to other places for years.
I was saving that for the last before, but now that we're talking about the kidnapped, I think they form a large chunk of the disappeared.
Yes.
Now, not every kidnapped person has family that is going to look out for them. That's going to be like, oh, you know, who is going to pay their ransom? Especially when kidnapping has become a business that some people, you know, thrive in now.
I was even going to say that the interesting part for me with that is that you know, there's some people that they know that, okay, this person was kidnapped at so point. Some people, they just don't get seen again. Do you understand? Like, it's not even like a Nigerian thing. It's things that you hear that, okay, maybe someone was just walking on the road and then they just don't find the person anymore.
Yeah. You know, I was going to come to that. There's this celebrated case of a Madeline or so, a girl who was on vacation with a family in Europe. I think they're from the UK, and she got missing in Spain, and she's not been found till today. I remember when that case broke, because I used to watch a lot of Sky News then. Like, I was Sky News, you know, locked in like all the time, and they never found her. There were conspiracy theories, there were angles to it. You know, our parents never gave up. Celebrities got involved. People were raising money, creating awareness
and all that.
And the girl never got found. Do you get? And they disappeared. Another one. A few years ago, a man was arrested. You know, he had abducted some woman and put her in the family way. Then she had daughters that he also still locked up in a dungeon or so in his house. It was a very popular case. I think it's an American issue that happened in America, and he was also procreating with his children, and those girls were locked up for years.
Yes. Wow.
You get? Those are disappeared. You get. There are people who are serial killers or serial murderers, and some of their victims, they don't even kill them. They just lock them away and all of that, Then, in the case of Nigeria, there's a large chunk of people who, in the process of looking for greener pastures or pastures green, would transverse the length
all
and
sorts
breadth
of places,
Africa, going through the desert.
and
Some
people
of
have
them
died. A lot of people have died on the way.
The kind of things that they go through, So these are the disappeared.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's very funny. It just popped up in my head now that I literally have an uncle, like uncle, like red uncle that literally seems to have disappeared from the face of the earth. Like nobody knows where he is for years. It's not like he fell ill or he said he traveled and he didn't. Do you understand? Like he just upped and left.
And these are the disappeared.
Yeah, those really are the disappeared.
Like
also, there is certain also in Nigeria's case, I think that there is a chunk of people that I know that we might not. A lot of people might not want to talk about this. Take for example, people in prisons. There are a lot of people that are declared missing, and the families don't even know they're there. Nobody knows where they are.
They are the disappeared.
And they're in the system.
I've mentioned this story more than once, and one of the businesses that I had invested in a couple of years ago was a printing press, a branding company, and our in-house tailor was arrested. He had gone out in the evening or night to buy food somewhere around Shita in Surulere, and he was arrested by the police. If somehow found his way in Badagry prison.
Badagry from Surulere.
From Surulere. They took him to Bode Thomas police station. From Bode Thomas, they were now transported to Alausa. And, according to him, because this was a story that we even put out then, I used to be a regular on Radio Continental. We put out the story on Kobanji Direct. And he said it live on air that in the olden cell at Alausa, the seat of government, they were advised to plead guilty to all the charges so that they can be let go as first offenders. And that was the advice he took. He pleaded guilty,
and then he
was sent to prison. But he had sent a message out. They had a way of sending messages in the prison. People bring phones to them in cell. In Alausa, they charge. The police allow them access. They pay extra to make calls. So he made a call to us. We found our way there, but he was sentenced to. So we started a lot of advocacy and everything, and that was on a Friday. By Monday, he was brought back. We paid the fines. We did everything we had to do, and it was released to us. But the 3-4 days he spent, the first time he was arrested was a Friday. He had spent a week. Then he was brought back on Friday. Then he went back for 3 days and came back. So let's say he spent about 8 days.
About 10 days.
10 days plus 8 to 10 days. He met someone who is also from that part of Surulere, who had been missing for months.
His family thought that
nobody knew where he was, so the guy actually begged him to go
tell his family,
and that's how I think they must have gone.
They found where he was,
pay his fines, and go get him out from Badagry prison, not cell, prison.
Wow.
Then a big shout out to my friend Lamborghini. He's a Nigerian artist based in the US now, doing amazing work. And he has a prison ministry. He used to do a lot of things. And when he tells you the experiences that they have, how some people are in prison for fines as low as 10,000 or 20,000 naira. And they end up spending weeks and months or years in prison. Those are the
and nobody knows where they are.
And that's why there's congestion in Nigerian prisons and all of that. Those are the disappeared. There's so many of them.
There's so many.
Today we dedicate to this show to them.
Yeah, to the disappeared.
We can actually
I hope better. A lot of disappeared people, if alive, are found. Really, at the end of the day, the people that want to be found. Let's put it like, because some people don't want to be found. Anyway, let's move on quickly from that, and let's move on to something that I talked about earlier, and about how I think that Nigeria as a whole, like a lot of us in Nigeria, the Nigerian media, and society at large are actually guilty of. On this one, I think that everybody's guilty of it. And I'm talking about, for example, there's, let me start the news from a report from the PRP. I think is People's Redemption Party. See, this is what we're talking about. People's Redemption Party has berated media organizations that they're showing preferential treatment to 4 of 18 political parties in Nigeria, specifically branding those other parties as other political parties. Now, according to them, they're saying that only the APC, the PDP, the NNPP, and the Labour Party are frequently regarded as the frontliners by the media, and especially the government-owned NTA, the Nigeria Television Authority, who is supposed to be the orientation platform for Nigerians. That first they gave an instance where they said that NTA had sent a letter to they had put out the statement talking about saying that some political candidates or presidential candidates deserve recognitions as special guests and notable candidates and even front runners, and others are just talked about as other candidate. They're saying that there is a calculated and fraudulent steps to misleading innocent masses of this great nation into thinking yet again that their choices are limited to few candidates. For instance, they said an invitation from the NTA to their presidential candidate, Mr. Kola Abiola, said that in a collaboration with a political organization addressed 4 political party candidates as special guests, while referring to the rest candidates and their parties as others.
Yeah. So
they're saying that the NTA also when listing this political parties, listed the APC as the first, where it is actually not the first in alphabetical order according to INEC's listing of political parties.
Yeah, right. In talking about that quickly, the party that is listed at the top is the A party.
Yeah, Accord.
Just Accord.
Yeah.
It's not Accord political party, no. Accord regional party.
No, yeah. Looking at it now, it is actually Accord A. Then there is Action Alliance as AA. There's Action Democratic Party, ADP. There's Action Political Party, APP. Mm-hmm. There's Action African Action Congress, AAC. There's African Democratic Congress, ADC, before the All Progressives Congress, APC. So according to INEC's list that I'm looking at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are about 6 parties that should be mentioned. There's Boot Party. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but those ones are not longer registered. Those ones are not longer registered.
It's one of the 18. Boot Party is
Okay,
I think
Sonny Adenuga's party. The chairman is Sonny Adenuga. I'm sorry, I take it back.
Adenuga.
That's the party chairman, Sonny Adenuga.
Okay, it's time to actually release it down.
That's the party chairman.
Boot Party. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Of course, there's the National Rescue Movement.
Oh yeah, I think I know. I know that.
Chigozie Ude is the party chairman.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, of course, there's the APP, which is not the old APP.
There was an APP.
APP became ANPP.
Yeah, we know that there's also SDP, which is not the old
same
SDP.
One.
Yeah.
So the APP is led by Uchenna Unadi, and I know you've run through those parties.
Then we have the Labour Party, the National Rescue Party, the New Nigeria. National Rescue Movement, the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, the People's Democratic Party, the People's Redemption Party, PRP, the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Youth Progressive Party, YPP, and the Zenith Labour Party, ZLP.
Now, a big shout out to Nigel on Facebook. He says hi.
Hello.
So, hi back.
Hi.
Hi back.
Yeah.
To you, Nigel.
You know, it's that, and the honest truth is that
okay, go
people,
ahead with
I think
the
that
honest
we actually, everybody is guilty of this.
All right. Yes, everybody is. So, one of the reasons why people are guilty is this. We have, a bicameral system of government, right?
Yeah.
We have the executive and the legislature, right? And the judiciary, of course, they are distinct. They are on their own. And a lot of these parties do not have any form of representation in any of those places, even at the state level. So it shows that they really don't have a lot of prominence, you get, and they don't have a lot of presence. A quick search will show you that of the 109 senators that Nigeria has, the APC has 66.
Yeah.
Even with people crossing back and forth, they have 66. The PDP have 38. Guess the other two parties that own the other two.
I know some people have moved to the NNPP and some people moved to the Labour Party.
Yeah, but the only person as at now that I can say is that remember the YPP has always had a senator.
Oh yes, they've always had a senator.
And then the NNPP.
PP, yes, I know that.
They have one senator. You get.
Yeah.
And this is a Wikipedia report that I'm looking at. You get. So that is at the federal level. Now, at the state assemblies, the Action Democratic Party actually has, of the 991 seats available across Nigeria, if you collate all the seats, the Action Democratic Party actually has a candidate. They actually have one seat. Then Zenith Labour Party, which is led by Dan Nwanyang, has two at the state assembly. Not necessarily in the same state or in the same, but at least they have two.
Yeah.
Of 991.
Oh yeah.
You get so
look. So I'm sure, like, so it's still like Anambra. I'm sure that maybe APGA probably has like a majority of the house.
Yeah, so like when it comes to APGA, they have 19. They have 19 state House of Assembly members. They have one governor of 36. They have 4 House of Rep members, but no senator.
Okay.
No senator.
Okay. Not bad actually.
Not bad.
Okay.
Not
okay.
So
what's the definition of not bad?
Well, not bad. The new Nigeria People's Party has one senator, 4 House of Rep members, no governor, but they have 13 House of Assembly members. State House of Assembly members.
For a party that just started like 6
or 7 months ago.
Yeah.
So
everybody starts somewhere.
I think that statistically, this is what the media is feeding off.
Yeah.
Every time they talk about structures and people and parties and stuff, this is what the media is feeding. These are the facts on ground. But I think we can do better as media people. I think we can do better in the sense that you need to take a look at the 18 presidential candidates, 18 registered parties, and give everybody the same exposures.
Exactly. I think that I get what they're saying, because the honest truth is that I think that why they zeroed in on NTA and maybe a lot of the states is that not everybody watches cable TV. You'll be shocked that there is a large chunk of Nigerians that don't watch cable TV. Yeah.
This morning.
So it's a lot of all these local television stations and radio stations that they watch and they listen to.
Yeah.
And that is why, whether we like it or not, as much as a lot of state, a lot of federal TV and radio stations, people that are in the media know that those people stay winning because there's a large chunk of followership, there's a large chunk of listenership and viewership these people still get. So it is almost like you're feeding them that these are the only parties that are available to be voted for. So I get what you're saying.
So finally, before we leave this matter, this morning while conducting a sample vox pop online, we were in studio. We had our man on the street, Cornelius. He spoke to someone, an artisan, and the response, you would not be ready for it. He's not even.
He was not voting,
and he said he has been voting. The man looked like someone in his late 50s, early 60s, or mid 60s, and he said he's tired. And there's a large chunk of, and he said in Yoruba, but let me paraphrase. He said he's not the only one that feels this way.
Oh yeah,
like that. So even if the voters are not that enthused,
they probably don't see that there are a lot of options.
They don't see candidates
that they like, which if they actually put everything out there, just maybe we might. I'm still talking about this issue. The presidential candidate of the African Action Alliance, Omoyele Sowore, he also has something to say, where he has now lashed out to the leadership of the Nigeria Bar Association for omitting him in the lineup of speakers at their annual general conference, which was held in Lagos. And you know that there's some things that we didn't pay attention to. And the honest truth was that about 4 or 5 presidential candidates were invited. Yeah. If you were going to invite some presidential candidates, why not invite everybody?
And this is coming from lawyers here.
Yeah.
You know, the NBA conference for 2022 doesn't seem to want to go away from the news. It's in the news for the good reasons and also for the bad reasons, for the wrong reasons. Yeah. Let's not dwell on that. So, going forward, here's hoping that everybody will realize that we are supposed to create a level playing field. But when you're already zeroing in on 3, 4, 5 people because you're talking structures and codes, structure means something different in Nigeria now. You are being unfair and
you're being biased.
You're probably even breaking one rule or one law
somewhere.
There's a strong possibility that you are. You know, so it's about time that the entire media space started carrying everybody along.
Okay, so moving on from that, like the courts are actually a lot in the news, as it's very interesting that I didn't even know that the DSS had taken this case to the appeal court, where there's news now that the appeal court has nullified a high court judgment granting Sunday Igboho 20 billion naira against the DSS. And according to the court judge, it says that they described the amount awarded as outrageous and stated that the Oyo State High Court lacked jurisdiction over the case, and the judge should not have determined the appropriate amount of damages based on his own preferences.
Honestly, I am in shock
that
we talked about this story when it happened then.
Yeah.
But it just dawned on me now. 20
billion. Just very arbitrary, really, when you think about it.
20 billion.
Very
form of evaluation
what was conducted? Yeah.
Look, I'm not talking about if the DSS was right or wrong. I'm not talking about what they might have damaged on its property or didn't damage. That's not what I'm talking about. What were the indices? What did you take into cognizance before arriving at
20 billion?
At the what was that nice word that they used to go? The princely sum. I mean, it's princely that they used to use of 20.
Huge compensation.
20 billion.
I have a question. How much is the house itself?
But you don't know where the house was. Now it's probably in the most expensive part of Ibadan.
No, it's not. It's in Soka.
What if Soka is the most expensive
part
of
Ibadan? No, it's not. I lived most of my life in Soka.
You can sit down here and
in
tell
Nigeria,
me that
in Ibadan.
That's not the most expensive part of Ibadan.
Yes. Okay, categorically. It's not even one of...
What if the land he bought was the most expensive piece
It's not.
Land? What if that's how they sold it to him?
It's not.
So do you think the valuation is off?
It's not.
No, you can't sit down there.
It is not. We all know it's not.
Anyhow, I also agree with the judgment of the court that 20 billion is outrageous, and again, but I think there's still room for appeal, right?
Yeah, I have a question though on that a little bit, and my question is that when maybe appeal courts or Supreme Court or whatever says that this court does not have jurisdiction over this, but if they didn't have jurisdiction over it, why did he get to the appeal? How does he get to the appeal court? You just can't go to the appeal court without having something to appeal.
It's the appeal court that's talking now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you say that they did not have jurisdiction? Because how do they get to the? When
you get your writ of summons, when you're summoned to go to a court, you go.
That's what I'm saying.
So the DSS might have gone there, and maybe even their lawyer would have under protestations anyway. That look, my lord, this case is not within your jurisdiction. It shouldn't be under your purview. And the judge might have insisted on going ahead. You get?
Okay, so
you know how it is now.
Still talking about the courts. Court has now rejected the Deputy Commissioner of Police, a former Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, was in the news yesterday about for a different reason. Now it's in the news today as a court has now rejected its bail request for the third time. And I'm like, aren't there limits to this thing? When the court has said no, what else do you think was going to happen again? Suddenly come up and say yes again?
Yeah, well, you know how it is with everybody that has money and lawyers. They're going to try everything that they can. They're going to test the law. They're going to stretch it. They're going to look for ways to get their client off, So I think this is one of those strategies that you deploy.
It looks like it doesn't look like it's working.
If you don't do this, let's try this. And don't worry, even if this doesn't work, we can do the other one and do this one. And I think that's what has happened here.
Sadly, it's not working this time. At least for the third time, it's not working. Okay, let's move off quickly from the court cases and let's move on to the police, where the Inspector General of Police has now come up to talk about how every single person that is involved in assaulting the police are going to be prosecuted, insisting that police officers must be respected. Also, he's talked about the issue that it is vice versa, as everybody needs to respect everybody, but that there is a recent trend of assaults on police officers and men in uniform, and that it has to stop.
We had a discussion about this before we came into the live studio, and we seem to have a belief that things took a major nosedive, a plunge into the doldrums when we had the mass action against NSAS, the NSAS rally and all. And of course, NSAS was something that people started out like police brutality, and then it became something else. But I want to focus on the police brutality path. The thing is that on that path to police brutality, me, you, and a lot of people have worked on it, and we have experienced it, and it has not been nice. So there is indeed some form of police brutality that exists or has existed in the past. Now, there's a large chunk of people who are going to be rebellious and everything, but we always say, do everything you do within the confines of the law. So this is coming up against the backdrop of recent issues with the police that have been captured on camera.
Yeah.
There was the issue of the youth corps member in Ikorodu. I think that was July.
Yeah.
Now, towards the end of August, there's the issue of, a party of 4 that were accosted by the police.
Yeah, there was also another one. Remember the man a few days ago that was seen dragging a police officer?
The guy that drove against traffic.
Yeah.
And still physically
felt that you felt in your heart of hearts that was the wonderful way. It's bad enough that you were driving against traffic, And then you felt the only way to do it was to drag a policeman. I don't know. I think that at times everybody has something. I'm sorry. A particular person that I'm not so much of a fan of said something a few weeks ago. I don't know. I think about a week or so ago. But I would key into what he said. And I remember it was an actor, Yul Edochie, where he was talking about how he travels a lot. I think it was offshoot from what happened with Buju.
Yeah.
And then he talked about how he travels a lot, but he has never, a policeman has never assaulted him. And his reason is because he feels that a lot of people have already a preconceived notion about policemen. Yes, I think that at a point, policemen have caused this. The police in itself has caused this. Like, you see a policeman, there is already a defense mechanism. There's already a demeanor that you do not like. And the honest truth is that these people too are human. At times, you never know. Some people are just crazy, which I'm not saying they're not policemen that are not, or they're not regular civilians that are not. I feel that at times the way we approach these people too matters a lot.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you a lot. There was a day that I had to put something, I think I put it on Facebook and Twitter or something. I was driving out from my old neighborhood in Ojodu, and there was this place that they were always a police checkpoint. In fact, along the stretch of that road, there used to be like 3 police checkpoints. And this particular day, I'm driving out in my car, I get flagged down. All my papers are intact, as far as everything is intact, because they check what they shouldn't check anyway.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Just allow them. And the guy goes, wind down. This is what I do. At night, when I know that there's a police checkpoint, before I get there, I put on my inner light. Do you get? And at times, when they see that, they look, at times they just wave you on.
Yeah.
Sure you get.
Because really, if you have nothing to hide,
if they don't wave me on, I wind down before they ask me to wind down. You get? Okay, what do you want, sir? But I don't ask them that. I'm saying it in my mind, like, okay, what did they define? But I'm not going to say it to them. I'm going to be like, okay, so what exactly? So you're there, and you submit yourself to their search if they have to, even if the law says they shouldn't. But you see, there are times you just need to look at how to protect your own sanity and yourself. But this particular day, these guys stopped me, broad daylight in the morning. Stopped me, and I wind down the glass, and the man goes, "Good morning." I said, "Good morning, officer." He says, "God bless you," and he started praying. Nigerian policeman.
Yeah. Okay. What's happening?
My liver dropped.
Okay. What did I do? Okay. What's happening?
Oh God, his prayer that you're praying. He prayed and prayed and prayed. Oh.
Like, okay, what do you want? Because at this point, I'm getting scared.
After he was done praying, he said, "God bless you." And one thing. And in Nigeria, if you're a Nigerian, don't be angry. I'm about to speak the truth. But if you're not a Nigerian, learn this if and when you come across Nigeria, or you come to Nigeria. When they pray for you, you pay.
You pay. So
you have to dip into your pocket and give them money. Me, I'm wired not to. I know they give shish.
You will stay there.
It's a lie, they give you.
You will stay there.
The man prayed and I'm like,
there's some things that even if you don't want to, I was already
tired.
Like, okay, you just let it go. Like
that your guys are here, and we're just appreciating you. And I said, okay, you know what, officer? So I won't say what happened. Let me leave it there.
Keep your hand to yourself.
Let me keep it there. I must have triggered something on the computer. Please forgive me. Let me keep it there, and that's how it happened. But I'm saying that it was the manner at which
at times
through. Again, I've also driven, and many years ago, a policeman tells me, "Park." I say, "Who owns the car?" I said, "It's my car." He said, "You?" I said, "Yes, it's my car." He said, "You know what, policeman? Where you see money buy this kind of car? Like, where did you get money?
Is it your daddy's money? Did I come and borrow money from your family member?"
So I get it when people get angry at
at some things, but
because some policemen will come across, but regardless of how the police come,
you just be.
My appeal to my brothers and sisters out there in Nigeria is that you be calm. Don't
let them aggravate you to do things that it's very interesting. There was one of the videos that we're talking about that we saw today. If you look at the first part of the video, it seemed like the policemen started the assault.
Yeah.
And then, but for it to get to that point, my own is don't let it get to that point.
Escalate, man.
Because then there is now the part where these civilians are also now assaulting the policemen and all that. At the end of the day, if you let somebody drag you into the mud, you're going to be covered in mud as well.
Yeah, so as it stands now, even the policemen in the scene that we're describing are called people.
Yeah.
And the citizens or the civilians that they accosted actually
also
they in jail.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to have their day in court.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So please, at the end of the day,
the Inspector General of Police is now saying that they're going to be prosecuting.
Let everybody
these
just
cases.
Let's be law abiding citizens. The honest truth is that even if they're not policemen, it is against the law really to put your hands on someone else.
Anybody.
Look at it. Let's look at it from that, and that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Police or not, it is wrong for you to put your hands on somebody else.
It is.
And the minute you think of that,
you've broken the law.
That's it. That's it at the end of the day. So still talking about the police, all the way to Akwa Ibom State, where police in Akwa Ibom have now banned activities of masquerades across the state. They're saying that the ban became necessary following violent and lawless actions of masquerades, leading to murders, threat to lives, assaults, and other breaches of fundamental rights. You know what this reminds me of?
Please tell me.
I remember that growing up, I think I was in primary school, and there's this thing that they do in Ibadan. I don't know if they do it anymore. Maybe it's very select places. Before, it was a thing like almost all over Ibadan. The Ololu. Is it Olola? No, I think it's Ololu masquerade. It's in the afternoon, broad daylight in the afternoon, and then you're not, as a woman, is not supposed to see it or something.
Just like the Oro.
And then people get beaten, and all sorts of.
They're even beating themselves. So
they're beating themselves.
They beat
Do you understand? All sorts of things. And at times you see these things in movies, and I'm like, why is there beating involved?
Well, I think it's part of their culture, their tradition.
Do you understand? And we've seen people actually get injured and all sorts of things, all because of these things. Even though it is our tradition, I think that the world is evolving. Tradition also should evolve.
Well, it's up for debate, hoping that we do not lose our essence and our culture completely as we live in the white man's world.
But there's some things that we know that we have dropped now because we know that they are barbaric.
True.
That's the thing. That's it for me too. So we shouldn't get to a point where we now do it so much that people now get injured, or and then it now gets to a point where there's like a complete ban of these things. Basically, that's where I'm coming from in the first place. So yeah, people just need to be we just need to be careful on that. Moving on quickly, the NNPC is in the news talking about how they're set to quit pipeline operations and management. Basically, they're talking about how by the mid of 2023, when all refineries they're working on are up and running, and with the Dangote refinery and the
all the other
federal government owned
modular refineries also.
And the modular refineries and the other, I think the one in Kaduna.
Wow.
Everybody's refineries are going on by 2023. That first things first, they will by the mid 2023 they will stop importing fuel completely, and also they would literally hands off all these things, because all this would also be entities on their own,
which is of course part of the Petrol Industry Act that was signed into law. And this is a very, very important part in Nigeria's future. The truth about this one, or my take about this,
things like a business,
is that you're right. My take on this one really and truly is that if we stop importing the byproducts of a product that we sell to the rest of the world, our country will change for the better.
Oh yeah.
the amount of forex that goes into importing fuel, importing diesel, importing DPK, APK, LPFO, and all of those things, the byproducts, is too much.
Well, yeah.
So the demand for the dollar will drop drastically.
Yeah, because when we don't need it,
You know,
literally.
and when the
need it.
demand for the dollar drops drastically, the naira will gain.
Will gain. It's just basic economics.
The naira will gain. You know, so this government might have been late in figuring it out, but
if they can actually pull
if this
through,
works,
it might not be a bad
Nigeria will change
idea
for the better.
Yes.
Because when the demand for the dollar drops, all the other things that we import or export will be affected by it. So it might affect our income, but better that than our expenses, because Nigerians tend to import more. People are buying virtually everything.
The honest truth is that I don't even think that our income would drop. Why? Because even let's take the example of subsidy. We already pay a lot of subsidy anyway. If the amount of money that is being paid on subsidy consequently is actually going to reduce, because the issue of landing cost and all those things will be removed from it. So generally maybe our income might actually not increase, because we might not even be paying as much as we're paying as something like subsidy and all that.
I was talking about Nigerians that export, because for instance, if I am exporting locally fabricated or made things, and I'm being paid at this 400 and something naira, and I'm converting to naira, I have more money.
Good luck to you.
You get, so when the dollar drops, I'm not going to get 400 and something. Maybe I'll be getting 200 and something.
Yeah.
And that is what I was referring to.
Okay.
That's the angle that I'm coming from.
Okay. I get your point.
Like
I get your point.
Proper income, not just Nigeria's oil exports and income.
Okay, moving on from that quickly, and let's move on to a bit of entertainment before we go. As the wife of Nollywood veteran Olu Jacobs, Joker Silva, has come out to say again that Olu Jacobs is not dead, and that she is going to a lot of people that have carried the news after several warnings that had been given, that there's going to be legal action on this matter now.
God bless Joker Silva, Joker Jacobs. She's such an amazing human being. I like what she's doing and has done and is still doing for her husband, and she's done in the industry also. But I have a problem. Everybody that threatens to sue never does.
Never does, yeah.
Auntie Joker Jacobs,
when are you going to
please sue these people? Let them pay. Like seriously,
let's be sure of the news that we talk about.
We see the stories and skip them. You think we don't want the eyeballs and the hype, but we want to do it the right way. So why do you think by saying that someone's father is dead, someone's husband is dead, is the right way for you to grow your own business?
Yeah.
So stop threatening them. Let your lawyers get to work. You don't worry. You don't even have to appear in court. Let your lawyers actually see one case to a reasonable end. It is until this happens. They said something wrong about Oshibajo the other day. They said they will sue. They didn't sue. They did not sue. The other one was about one of these parastatals that somebody said they said they were going to sue one journalist. Did they sue him? Yeah. They did not. One wrote something about terrorism and whatever. Did they sue him? No. Nobody's doing nothing about it. Mm-hmm. But remember when a TV station was running an advert or an advertorial, some kind of funny documentary about a Nigerian politician, and the person wrote them.
Yeah.
They are apologizing. So that means that if he has sued them, they will be paying. So let's stop it. To the media, please stick to the truth. I know you people won't listen, but if you feel to the people, to the victims, can you really sue? Just do it. For once, let us use the courts. The courts are waiting.
Okay. Finally, before we go, there's talks about ASU has gone on about their insistence of continuing the strike. They're talking about how this strike is for the benefits to save universities. I don't understand the concept about it. Also, the federal government had come out to say that 80% of the demands are also have been met, so they don't understand why the federal government why ASU is being unnecessarily difficult. Also, according to the Vanguard now, they're saying that according to sources in the Federal Ministry of Education, they're saying that there are indications that the federal government is set to reopen shut universities with or without the lecturers. To be honest with you, they can't. They own the schools.
If you've seen any of my videos in the past or any of these boombars that we've done, or you want to go check out anything that you search for boom radio or boombar, also use those hashtags or those words, you see how I do not support ASU. I don't, and I will not, and I still don't support them. But I need education. I heard that ASU say that they want to engage the media more now. That they notice that the media needs to be engaged more and they want to talk. Dear ASU, Boom Radio NG is available for engagement at no cost to you. But it would be nice for one ASU member to come and please kindly teach me how you tell the owner of a property that has employed you how to run his business.
There's also talks finally before we go that is said that there's a meeting with pro-chancellors and vice-chancellors of federal universities slated for next Tuesday at the NUC complex in Abuja, that they're set to meet the Minister of Education on a way forward.
Me, I still don't know how.
Please, anyway, as long as the schools are open,
I still don't know how someone owns something, employs you, and you say you're trying to save his property. I don't know. How about all the ASU guys getting together and starting their own school?
Maybe at this point, really, at the end of the day. Anyway, on that note, that is all we have to take for you on the Boombar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for the